Today we celebrate. We celebrate 10 years of pink marriage, 10 years of equality. 10 years ago, the Netherlands made history by allowing same-sex marriage. Our country changed the laws and opened the windows to necessary equality.
10 jaar roze huwelijk is niet niks. Nederland en Amsterdam waren de eerste. Dat is natuurlijk heel bijzonder en ik hoop dat we daarmee ook een goed voorbeeld zijn geweest naar andere landen.
I think that pink marriage upgraded same-sex relationships to the same level as straight relationships. Marriage gave legal and emotional status.
We zijn op dit moment in totaal met Nederland erbij 10 landen waar homoseksuele mannen en vrouwen kunnen trouwen met elkaar. En wij hopen natuurlijk dat het ook een soort lichtend voorbeeld is voor andere landen.
It is now estimated that slightly more than 1,100 same-sex couples marry every year in the Netherlands. In Amsterdam, these account for almost 7% of the total number of marriages. And I mention this because these figures have remained more or less consistent over the years, and it means that it is no longer an exceptional event. It has become normal.
But I wouldn't be from the COC Amsterdam if I wouldn't also have a wish list. Because unfortunately, there still are some inequalities for pink couples. Lesbian co-parenthood, acknowledgement of couples with a foreign partner, and weigerambtenaren. Refusal servants. And let me say one thing about these civil servants. I think that if you are working as a civil servant, it should be quite straightforward. You serve, you do your job, the law is the law, and discrimination is not allowed. And if you don't like the part of your job where you have to marry same-sex couples, I'm convinced there will be very good job opportunities elsewhere.
Kijk, we hebben nu gezien dat zo ongeveer 1 land per jaar gemiddeld het burgerlijk huwelijk openstelt. Nou, als we daarop moeten wachten op die 183 landen die nog moeten komen, dat is bijna 2 eeuwen. Dat vinden we natuurlijk veel te lang. Dus we hopen dat het in een veel hoger tempo gaat.
Countries around the world, even on places where you didn't expect it, were writing about the marriages here in Amsterdam. And then came that question, will gays have the possibility to get married also in other countries, Belgium, other countries?
De sprekers die vanavond zijn uitgenodigd, dat zijn de ambassadeur van Zweden, van Argentinië en de consul van Spanje. En die gaan vanavond allemaal iets vertellen over de openstelling van het burgerlijk huwelijk in hun land.
First of all, I like to join others in saying that there is a lot of things that still need to be done. Even in Amsterdam, the capital of same-sex marriages, but also in Sweden, because we have changed some of the laws, but that doesn't mean that discrimination go away automatically. There are still practical problems when it comes to adoptions. There are still practical problems when it comes to assisted fertilization.
It is true that the new law did not put an end to the infighting between those who opposed and favored same-sex marriage. On the streets, protesters, led by the Spanish Family Forum, Partido Popular, and the Spanish bishops, rallied thousands of people against what they consider a weakening of the meaning of marriage and family values. Some days later, the Federación Estatal de Lesbianas, Gays, Transexuales y Bisexuales, I don't think I have to translate, coinciding with Gay Pride Day, organized a march in favor of the new law.
With respect of any visible effect of the legislation has had, well, this law was passed not even a year ago, and we think that it's not a matter of number or quantity, as I suppose we all agree on that. For the society as a whole and for the Argentine government, it has been more a commitment to the fundamental liberties and not discriminatory principles.
I'd like your attention for two members of our panel. First of all, Mr. Tonila Tegala, Chair of the African Gay Youth Foundation, and Mrs. Emine Boskert, Dutch politician of Turkish descent, born in the Netherlands, MP since 2004.
Normally, marriage law is of course up to a member state, but people travel. The European Union, one of the fundamental things of the European Union is that there's the freedom of mobility.
Op het moment dat een homokoppel wil verhuizen naar een ander land, dan is het eigenlijk heel vanzelfsprekend dat ze dezelfde rechten zouden moeten hebben als heterokoppels. Helaas is in de praktijk dat niet het geval.
Countries like Italy or Poland are not granting those rights. And we had a lot of debates. We posed written questions to the Commissioner of Fundamental Rights asking about this. And you know what she's saying? She said, but the right is there. The freedom of mobility is there. It's anchored in the Charter of Fundamental Rights. But the problem is that member states are not putting it into practice.
De landen zelf hebben daar een belangrijke rol bij, want die implementeren het dus niet. Sommige landen wel, andere landen niet. En ik vind dat de Europese Commissie daar tegen die landen procedures moet beginnen om te zorgen dat die landen het wel doen. Want als het bestaat, dan moet het ook gehandhaafd worden.
When Anita Bryant said, kill a queer for God, or for Christ, there was mass outrage, I can imagine. There were newspaper adverts saying messages from Holland or messages from Europe, messages from whatever, to Anita Bryant or to the US. I want to see that happen when somebody like David Kato is killed two months ago because he's a gay activist.
I can understand why most people don't want to get involved, because Africa is a very difficult continent. We handle Africa with a little bit of, softly. But that has got to change. Human rights are human rights.
I would like your support that if I stand up and say, Amandla, which means power to the people, at least I want to have the backing that I know that there will be people standing behind me who will not let me out to get killed. But clearly, I can, I'm gorgeous enough, I don't want to get killed. But, but seriously, that's all I ask. I know it's not something easy to ask, but that's what needs to be done. If you can't stand up for Africans who can't speak for themselves, I am ready to do that. And I am not afraid, but I need your help.
And I want to end with some of the pictures taken places all over the world where marriage is now open.